Behold, Unlimited Blade works! Today, we're going to dive into all of the fashion shown over the course of Excal Week. As we cover each appearance, I'll link the video it was in at the top of the screen, and all of those links are also in the description. If you need any builds or information about anything about Excalibur, I probably did cover it in some way this week, so go check out those videos. This is just the fashion. And I'm also going to announce the winners of the giveaway we held on Wednesday. That will be at the end of the video after the fashion. So let's begin. First, we have this non-basic Jade Sheath Katana that I displayed in the Starter Guide Excal video for the ZephrusPrime. So these are the basic colors on the katana itself. That's a little bit difficult to see, and I'll show you that in a second. But the main feature here is the sheath. I think this is what gets catching people's eyes. So here are the colors we got. This green that is creating that jade is from the Katir palette. Now this only comes around with Baron Katir, and he's only ever had it once. So if you didn't pick it up a couple of weeks ago, you might be out of luck here. But there are plenty of good dupe colors for this. You could get a nice sort of clean... See, that's pretty good. That's not bad off Halloween. Anyway, there are several dupe colors for that, but it looks really cool to have just like a jade sheath. I don't know, it's nice. And then you can match it with this little accent of jade seafoamy green. You know, it's really a seafoam color, right? And then this tertiary governs the metal on the sheath. So I've used a lighter prime gold. Most prime items actually ship with this color, but I think this color is much better. You see the difference there? It's a bit too saturated. This is a less clean color, and it gives you a nice sort of soft appearance. Pretty nice, but you could use lots of metallics there. And then I've chosen blood red here to contrast with that green, that seafoamy green, that jade green. And then some light color for the primary. This doesn't really show anywhere. So let me show you what the actual blade of the katana looks like when it's got these colors on it. Looks a little something like this. Now, I don't really have too much to say about this. I just thought it would be helpful to be able to see like where the colors are and like what it looks like when it's actually out. This is mostly only going to matter in terms of dark and light colors when you're actually swinging the blade. If you want it to be like really bright so you can actually see it, get a nice bright metal on that sort of silvery steel color I have right here. We'll show that in just a sec so you know exactly which one it is. And then you've got that prime gold on the hilt. I think that looks really good. Make sure that the two colors you use for metallics, that blade color and that hilt color, and the tang of the weapon, make sure that those two colors are going to complement each other in a way that is nice instead of just looking like all metal. You know, it would look pretty bad if that prime gold was the same as the metal color. It would look like it was just a piece of metal instead of a sword. So here you are. You can see that it's these three colors that are going to blend to be your metallics. This white is going to influence that metal part right there that you saw as part of the hilt and the guard. And then this is going to influence this part right here, this part in the tang, the wrapping around the hilt. And then this is going to be that prime gold that you saw on part of the guard. So I made this just to make a cool standalone ZephrusPrime appearance. Not saying the weapon doesn't look cool on its own, but I think you can make it look kind of dramatic and fancy like this, so there you go. Let me show you what all of those colors are. This is white, not pure white, but pretty close. There's a gray. This is a bit of a brownish gray. There's a subtle distinction there. I recommend that one. This is that lighter prime color I showed you before. Here's a bright blood red from Halloween and a dark blood red for Halloween. And it's the same here, except I've substituted this seafoamy color. There you are. Now along with that, I showed the basic appearance of Excalibur, all default colors, nothing else added, for my starter Excal video, but for the Surging Dash video, I decided to modify it a little bit to match this katana that I've made. So let me show you that. Here's the Mordred helmet. I think it's a very nice non-basic helmet for Excalibur. Find it on alert, pick it up. I think it's just like a bit more distinct and not so, you know, maybe just because we see this a lot, we associate it as like generic Tenno, whereas this is like got a little bit more personality. I don't know, just my opinion. And then Excalibur's noble animation is pretty nice. I think it's fine. It's pretty basic and it's a bit ugly with the secondary, but if you look at like a primary, he's got this kind of nice staggered stance, which I personally really like. His back is very even. You got your little leg pop there. I don't know. I think it's nice. If you don't like it, don't do it, but there you go. Just for reference, here's what the normal one looks like. He just kind of hunches over a little bit, you know. So it's up to you, but I did that. So the colors here are very basic. This is just a nice tan from Orican. I use this all the time. Super nice tan body color. And these are both pure black. Just use the darkest color you have. Here's that seafoam color to match with the sheath that is jade looking, and this is a bright blood red. It would look pretty cool with a dark blood red. I'll show you what the sword looks like in a sec. And then we've got nothing, no accessories. This sigil is the Zanuka sigil with these modifications and pure black as the background color. So let me show you Exalted Blade with these. This is a relatively dark tile, because a lot of the tiles in the game are pretty dark, and this is what this Exalted Blade looks like. So you can see it's surprisingly dark, you know? Like, it's pretty bright red as far as the color palette goes, but as you can see in practice, it's actually surprisingly dark. So I would recommend this. I think it's actually fine, and you don't want something too dark or it looks like it's not even made of light. So it's just my suggestion. Now let's take a quick look at Carrier, which I showed in the Surging Dash video as a sentinel that can survive the going YOLO playstyle that you're going to be doing. It's pretty simple though. Here's that sandy color again. This is pure black. Here's a nice coppery color. Let's see for that metal. This is pretty good. These Grenier colors are also good too. You can see it's a bit more saturated, a bit brighter. This one is actually okay, a bit dark. I preferred this brighter one, but that's just me. Here is a blue to evoke a penguin aesthetic. Cute, saturated blue. And then I decided to go for a muted energy color. I don't know, I just think Carrier's a little bit bright, so I decided to go for something darker. Like, if you go for I don't know. That's just a little too much for me personally. I wish the energy color was more spread out. I think that'd be better. And then here are these colors again. This is a bit less dark. Here's the same color as before. This is the same blue as before. And here's that energy color again. So a nice cute little penguin carrier featuring the Ictus mask and the dome sentinel wings. Here's my Apex super pay-to-win Tenogen Excalibur. So, the appearances after this that I showed in the rest of Excal Week are a lot cheaper. They don't really use any cosmetics, they're just some colors. But this is my like super overdone Excal, and I'm very attached to it. So I'm going to show you what it is, and I hope you like it, and you can make your own. So the crux of this is the Apex skin. The big thing that this does is this texture right here is white. This white color I did, right? And as you can see, it's kind of dirty. It has this sort of like different texture to it, so if I make it all black, you see it's gone, but it's clouded. They have put a clouded texture on it, so you can put a lot of colors on this and it looks really cool. I did this and a lot of my regulars really liked it. This kind of like jungle, like commando looking color. That's nice, isn't it? Like, you can put a lot of colors on this and it looks very cool. I decided to go for something a little more muted because that's just my aesthetic, but you can make Jungle Excal and have a super badass appearance with this skin. This is like my favorite Tenogen skin now. It's really cool. So here's the Apex helmet. It's also got a little metallic here in the horn, very similar to the normal Excal helmet. It's the exact same model, but they changed a lot of the textures and where the optical sensors are. It's really cool, really cool. So I'm using Nidus Noble animation. You can't really tell the difference here, but with a lot of weapons, like, he'll just pose cool when you're not in the middle of combat. It's not really a big deal, but like, I'll show you some. So like, if you grab a spear, I'll grab the Ferox, puts it over his shoulder, badass, right? And then if you get a gun, he just sort of has like a, yeah, he has like a I don't give a crap about any of this, like, kind of, look at that, like, he's got some authority. I like it. So I personally like that one a lot. Hey, look, another hotfix, lol. And here are the colors for the main body of that appearance. So we got a pure white, pure black. Again, for all of these, just use the best you have, but smoke is probably the best one overall. And then for this tertiary, this sort of color on the sides, I have this sort of orangey brown. I really wanted this as a way to fit the color theme and the warmth theme that this rose gold has, but I didn't want it to be like actually a color accent, but just brown is kind of ugly, you know? So I went for that. There might be a better solution. Here's a rose gold that me and Gay Guy Plays both use a lot in our videos. And here's the energy color. Now this energy color is very important. I will show you in just a few minutes. I'll jump into a mission. This is the closest I could get to the energy color of energy conversion orbs when they spiral around you, and you will almost always have those when you're playing because you'll do Exalted Blade once and then just get other energy orbs and you'll have that thing going around you. Having it match is really important to me, so I did the best I could to find a good match. This is a very good one. There are other good ones. Grenier has okay ones. This color is actually not that far off, or like this color. Anyway, this is the best I could do, so I recommend that one if you're interested in that. Here are the attachments. So I did a darker, more cloudy color here because, again, there's a clouded texture here, so if you made this just white, see, it would look really weird because the rest of the frame is not, the main color is not actually white, it's like clouded. So I brought it down a little bit to this shade. Again, a benefit of the smoke palette. And then all these colors are exactly the same as the ones you saw before. So we're using the Nasaru Syndana, also a very beautiful Syndana with these nice little ribbons here. Lots of Syndanas look good in Excalibur though. And then we have the Riv set, but not all of it is the Elite Guard. I decided to go for the Riv Comp Guard legs because the Elite is a little too much. See that? It kind of doesn't fit the aesthetic. It creates like a visual bump in the sort of silhouette of the Warframe right here, which I don't think is that good. I think it's better to tone it down a little bit and have it like that. It still creates cohesion where there's metallics all over the place, right? Where there otherwise wouldn't be, even though the horn of the helmet has one, but it doesn't overpower the legs. See, it's too much. Like, the legs are very plain and tasteful, and you can overpower it if you do too much. So these Riv Comp Guard legs are kind of unique. You can only get these from Conclave. You cannot buy them from the cash shop, whereas the Riv Elite Guard you can get from Conclave, but you can also buy from the cash shop. So you need a mix of these. This is not only super pay to win, you actually have to spend a lot of time farming it out. So there you go. This is my ultimate Excalibur appearance. This is the most effort I can possibly force you to put into this appearance. And now we're going to talk quickly about this Nakana Prime appearance, but it's not very complicated. You have to shuffle around some colors a little bit because the metallics are in a different place. So these are the same colors you saw before, but this rose gold has been moved to tertiary because that's what the metallic is here for this part that I want to be rose gold color. And then this primary color is going to be the metal of the blade. So I had to make sure it was white. There you go. And now the sheath, it's the same thing. This tertiary, not the accent color, is the metallic of the sheath. So you want to change that with the accent. And besides that, there you go. And that accent color will also be the color of the special Sugatra. Personally, I think it is a sin against the Warframe gods to put a different Sugatra on here because this one just fits the aesthetic of the Nakana so well. Also, if you have the skin that comes with the Ash Koga pack, that would probably look pretty cool, but I actually think a more muted sheath appearance is better here. So let me show you that energy conversion color matching that I was talking about after I re-update because they hotfixed the Octavia patch like a million times. So you can see here that I've got an energy conversion orb, and I'm going to activate Exalted Blade. It'll consume it. I'm going to cut up some dudes, and soon I will get another energy conversion orb, and you can see how well they match. Pretty good, right? So you can see the energy color is very similar. If you get a close look, you can tell that the energy orb is a little bit darker. Like, not darker, but like it has less light in it. So it's not a perfect match, but it's the best I could come up with after testing a variety of colors that are actually like reasonable to have and you would use for other things. So this is the one I recommend. It's not bad, right? I think I kind of like it. And again, you're gonna look like this pretty much all the time, so I do think it's kind of important to match as best you can. I don't know. If you don't care, then don't bother doing it. But there you go. I hope that you like it. And of course, to go along with my Apex Excalibur, we have the Doriga that I use to apply growing power with the Artax. So let's take a look at this appearance. Doriga, like, this Sentinel is quite something. So I didn't do too much here. There's not much you can do. There's a lot of uncolorable. Anyway, let's just show you what I got. So here's the color I did for the loaves of bread, as it were, these inflatable balloon things. And then this is the Grenier mark. My mask is in the way, but you see that right there. That's that, and then like a little bit right here. So I chose green for that. I just recommend you avoid red because then it looks like it's literally Grenier, unless you want it to be like the flavor to be that you stole it from the Grenier. Here are the tethers on the bottom. This actually has a pretty cool texture if you make it bright, but I personally like them to be black or like a cable-y color, like if you make them like blue. See, that's kind of cool, or like a yellow. Nah. Alright, anyway. Here's my sort of gray color, that's the body. That color on the body. You can change that to like metallic and it can look kind of cool. Like, let's make it gold. See, it's a bit dim. It's like very matte for a metallic, but it can look pretty cool with some different colors. Like, let's try, it's kind of bad. Anyway, so I picked that. And then here we have a blood red. Now, for the accessories, we have the Hanhao Sentinel Mask and the Diamond Sentinel Wings. Now, there's a problem with the Diamond Sentinel Wings, and the problem is this whole part you see right here is uncolorable. You cannot change the color of that. So before, I showed you this color right here, that's like the body of the Sentinel. So I tried to pick that very specifically to match this diamond color as best I could. This is the best I could do. So if you don't have smoke, it's going to be pretty difficult to match with that color, which might drive you crazy if you're like me. Anyway, and then I chose to put black on the outside of these diamond wings so that it matches the fact that the mask is so dark. Anyway, that's what I chose to do. I think it's kind of cool. It almost looks like these are like legs, and it's like a weird little, incredibly awkward droid, and I don't know. I kind of like it. It's the only Doriga appearance that I've liked that I've made, so this is what I recommend. At last, the time has come. We will announce the contest winners. So, I'm going to put all the names up on screen all at once. Great. Congratulations to all 12 of the people who have won free stuff in Excal Week contest. Friend me in-game, my IGN is ZandyPants, just as my channel name is spelled, and message me whenever you're ready to get your prizes. If I don't immediately respond, give me a minute or two. I might be streaming or making videos, but don't be shy. You're not nagging me. Get you my prize as soon as possible. So, finally, this has been a very long Fashion Fair Fridays. Somebody asked me about my graphics settings, so I'll flash you those quick right now. Now keep in mind there was just that update, and they might have gotten a little bit messed up, but as we'll go through them and I'll show you. So here's what I got. Basically everything is turned on because I have a rather good computer. I didn't turn on color correction, constant weapon trail is really ugly, but everything else is basically just like fairly high, and my computer can handle that. But again, this is a pretty high end. The only thing that might be a head scratcher for some people is the max frame rate is 30. So my max frame rate is 30 because when I stream and record videos, it doesn't work very well if it's higher than that. My computer just can't handle recording and rendering video and displaying the game at 60 FPS. But I can turn it up to 60 and you can see, like, it works fine when I'm just playing, but not so much for normal video recording and streaming. So in the future, I do have some techniques that might allow me to combine audio footage and recording at 60 FPS, so I will try to deliver that to you in the future. But anyway, someone asked for my graphics settings, there they are. And thanks very much for watching, everyone. If I somehow forgot something, I'll see y'all next time, but I know that some of you might be thinking, you know, I was looking for a certain appearance that isn't related, and you said you would put it in. Where is it? I'm not doing it this week because it's off theme, but I do have those on the list. I did hear you, and they will be in future episodes. I just don't want to overbloat any specific episode, and as you can see, this one is already a little bit too long, so I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for enjoying Excal Week.